Good morning everyone, my name is Simon Groom and I'm Director of Exam Training and Practical Guidance here at Tolley. One of the products that we have in our suite at Tolley is Tolley Guidance, which not only tells you what the legislation says and means, but also how it impacts on you and your clients. In other words, what you need to do with that information. Now, here with me today is Ben Saunders, who is a tax manager at Tolley Guidance. Good morning, Ben.
Morning, Simon.
And we're here to talk about the case of Dr. Samadian. And this is hopefully a case that you'll be familiar with, but we just want to explore and explain to you about why it is important and who might be affected by this. So, Ben, I know you've written a news item on this, but I'm a busy man, and I need to know, do I need to invest time in actually reading your news item? And maybe we can start by just telling me a little bit about what the case is about.
Well, firstly, I think you do need to invest the time reading my news item, but the case is potentially very wide impacting. It relates to business mileage, so travel expenses between a place of business that is home and a place of business that is not home. So it's basically involving travel to and from a home office for a self-employed trader.
And I imagine that's going to have quite a wide impact because there's a lot of people who will be doing that. I mean, what essentially did the case turn on? I understand there was some reference to Mallow and Drummond. That's
right. Essentially, this is the first time we've seen Mallow Drummond apply to travel expenses. Mallow Drummond, obviously, being a case involving clothing, deciding that there was an inherent duality of purpose,
wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. So how does that? So are they saying that when you're travelling to another place of business or back to home, there's some sort of duality of purpose?
That's right. So any travel involving home is essentially a bit like travelling for employment purposes. So the purpose of the journey is to live away from where you have another place of business.
But how can at the end of the day, are you going to have to record?
Yes, that's right. This is one of the problems going forward, and one of the reasons why you need to talk to clients about it now is that this is going to affect record keeping. Dr. Samadian kept what I think most of us would consider adequate records. Yeah. He kept details of the miles travelled and where they were incurred going to. But what he didn't have, and why the tribunal had to infer his purpose, was the fact that he didn't record actually what his purpose in the journey was. So it's conceivable that not all travel to and from home is not allowable, but without proof that there is a business purpose that's wholly and exclusively for the purposes of the trade.
I think that has quite an important impact for potentially for record keeping. But what are HMRC saying about this?
Well, nothing at the moment, other than the case being cited in another first-tier tribunal decision. HMRC haven't mentioned it, which is a bit of a concern, because this affects people who have filed returns which are now, strictly speaking, incorrect on the basis of the Samadian decision, but obviously were filed before the Samadian decision. So returns which are open to inquiry and potentially returns which are under inquiry.
And I suppose it all relates to whether they consider it to be, or what the prevailing practice was at the time, and whether this is a change in prevailing practice. So I think we do need to see what they say, don't they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I certainly think you've given me enough information there to suggest that I need to have a look at this in a bit more detail, and I hope we've given everyone else an idea that they do too. If you do want to have a look at this in a bit more detail, you can access the news item that we've been talking about, and there'll be instructions at the end of this recording about how you can get that. But it could well have quite an important impact on a number of clients, particularly the record keeping aspects that we've been talking about. So I hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.